Welcome to this episode of The Mindful Show. Thank you very much for tuning in. We have been expecting you and we are excited that you have joined us. The Mindful Show is about all things mental health, awareness, promotion, prevention, wellness, fitness, everything that's good for your mind, like I like to say. You are welcome. On the set today, we go into the basics of mental health. First things first. And I'm excited, more than excited, to host our very first guest on the Mindful Show, Agatha Esaete.
Agatha is a highly experienced facilitator, stress management consultant, speaker, and life coach. Trained as a clinical psychologist, she has a unique 12-year experience in communications, counseling, motivational speaking, leadership development, corporate training, team building, career coaching, capacity building, life coaching, strategic planning, and business development, which provides her clients with unique advantages. She is passionate about self-development and delivers motivational key quotes, professional counseling and consulting services, and in-house training seminars to development organizations, youth groups, corporate organizations, and individuals around the globe.
Agatha, you are welcome.
Thank you so
Welcome
much.
to the Mindful Show.
Thank you so much.
We're excited to have you here. And before we get into the conversation, we have a ritual we do with all our guests on the Mindful Show. So we're going to have starters. We eat starters together.
Sure.
And our starters can be anything from building resilience to what are you reading to help your mind grow, anything that will really, really help us and the people that we are watching to take better care of our mind and our mental health in general. So this is our dish. And you pick one question, you read out the title, and then you answer the question.
Wow.
So I wish you the best.
Okay, thank you. What is the one thing that you are so grateful for right now? Well, I would say understanding is very important, because when we experience different challenges, it is very important for you to learn from them, and learning from your mistakes means acquiring wisdom to help you become a better person, to help you think better, and to also be a mentor and to generate resolutions and solutions that can be beneficial for another person who might be experiencing what you're going through.
Okay, so you are thankful for situations you go through that help you to understand yourself better?
I am thankful for the attitude of understanding.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
Because when we go through experiences and challenges, one thing is very determinant for how your story ends. What is your attitude towards that experience? Were you looking at it as a point where you grow and learn from, or do you use it to destroy yourself and lag behind and maybe find unhealthy coping strategies? So for me, understanding is important.
Understanding is important.
Yes,
Okay.
it is.
So, and I will say, as my friend and sister, I am also thankful that you're a very understanding person, which is why if somebody wants to know all the secrets about my life, this is the person to kidnap. That said, we will dive into the show. So today, Agatha, we want to look at mental health. First things, basics. Post-COVID, mental health has become a big issue. Talk to us. In light of the challenges people are facing with COVID, you know, families are breaking up, people are going through all sorts of experiences, job cuts, dealing with all manner of stressful situations. What is mental health?
Thank you so much. If I'm to use the experiences that we are going through, we would basically summarize mental health as the way you interact with your emotions, with your beliefs, and with your surrounding. That is, when we're talking about mental health, we are looking at our emotions. We are looking at our mindset, interpretation. You know, to coexist in this world, to coexist in the environment we live in, you have to interpret the behavior of people towards you and respond responsively to that. So mental health is just involves my emotions. It involves my mindset or my thinking patterns, and also my interactions with the people around me. Now, for people, when you talk about COVID, people who have not been able to adjust, to being a dad that was working and sustaining his family, and his wife disrespects him continuously, his emotions get affected in the process, and then his mindset is imbalanced. And because of that, he's going to either have a positive outlook towards mental health or a negative one. So mental health is basically how you interact with your surrounding and with the events that come through your life.
Wow, and that looks at the different events, that we are going through. I love that. Are there things mental health is not? For example, I know growing up we used to think when somebody, has, like, my closest memory growing up of mental health was mad people, like, oh, that person is mad. So the moment I now came to an awareness of this concept of mental health, that was my earliest point of reference as a child. So talk to us about, myths, things we think, that mental health is. What is mental health and what is it not?
Okay, I like the question that you have raised, because if we can understand what mental health is not, then it is going to help us to respond as a measure to enable people who are dealing with mental illness to overcome. One thing is, mental health is not mental illness.
Right.
That is the first thing we need to know.
Right.
Yes. When I talk about mental health, it does not relate in any way to the fact that I am sick. And that's what most people think. Mental health is just your general outlook towards life. It defines you as a person. But mental illness would now be any ailment you're facing, as a result of different things you've gone through. Okay? So one thing is, mental health is not madness, like you were saying. It has nothing to do with that. When I talk about mental health, I'm talking about a perfectly sane person. Mental health is not an addiction. Mental health does not mean, there is a myth that people, when you talk about mental health, people think that people do not work who are mentally challenged.
Right.
Actually, that would be the right way to put it. If you find yourself at a point in life where you feel your mental health is not in the right place, it would be best to say you are mentally challenged, because another thing mental health is not, it's not a permanent situation.
Right.
Sometimes, mental illness is just it's just a component of mental health. For example, if I were to say that this is my family involves a structure. There's a father, there's a mother, there are children, there are relatives, there are those subsets within us. So that's the same thing about mental health. So,
and those different children would be things like awareness, prevention.
Yes. Mental health is not it's not a sign of weakness. It does not mean that if I say I am talking about mental health, then it means I have a weakness. What I want people to understand is mental health is a good thing. Mental illness is when you are challenged, just like a car would need to go to a mechanic. It just means that you need to go and seek intervention, and you will be in a position to manage. What doctors do, what counselors do, what psychiatrists do is help people to manage their mental health. So it can either be positive or it can be negative, but the interventions as well, yeah.
This is the part of the show where we find something that's good to try and something that's good to know. So it's good to know from you, Agatha, what are some of the benefits of looking after our mental health? And it's good for us to try. What are some of the things that we can start to do after watching this episode that can make a difference for our mental health?
Okay. You've heard of the saying that what you believe in. Okay, I will use the reverse of this. Sometimes they say that a lie often told becomes the truth.
Right.
Now I want you to reverse it. A truth often told becomes your support.
Right.
If I believe that I can do it, then no matter what comes my way, I will do it. I will go through it. So if you're looking at the benefits, the first thing is life. Life is preserved in goodness, in a perfect state of mind. If you are a positive, happy being, it is very possible for you to go through life's challenges and overcome. So mental health preservation, or keeping yourself in a positive check, it helps you live a longer life.
Right.
It helps you to relate with people in better ways. It enables you to cope and relate with situations in ways that would not distract you. When you preserve your mental health, it also means you are putting a buffer against things and people. Nobody has the permission to make you feel inferior without you allowing them. Nobody has that right. The right for you to living is affected by the way you take yourself and the way you interpret situations. So I would say the first benefit of mental health awareness and preservation is it prolongs your life.
A healthy mind equals long life.
Yes.
Yes.
And then it promotes positive interactions with your environment, enabling you to create for yourself a place in society where you survive without stress. Imagine if, I don't know if anyone that is watching this, have you interfaced with a very bitter person? They say misery loves company. Would you like to be among people that are miserable? If I am able to put myself in check, if I'm able to seek for counseling in situations when I feel I can't cope, then I'll be able to interact with people, and in turn it would affect me positively in terms of relationships. It also enables you to have access to proper services, you know. If you are a person who is physically aware, for example, of the challenges that you face, and I know most people who are watching, if I'm to give an example, when we talk about depression, most people say they are depressed, but in other words, most of the time it's stress, you know. So we have what we say you are in burnout stage. So if I am in a stage of burnout, I am able to go and seek for services, which in turn can enable me to sustain my health and maintain it in the right kind of posture and way. So mental health begins with advocacy for self-care, for self-understanding and self-preservation.
Okay.
Yes.
3 important concepts to not good people. Mental health begins with understanding 3 aspects. You talked about self-care, self-awareness, self-preservation.
Yes.
So what's the one thing we can start doing to take care of our mental health? Just one thing we can do. Maybe self-care wise, or to promote our, self-preservation. What's that one thing that we can do? Maybe for self-care. Yeah.
Well, one of the things that you can do, for me, I normally tell people that when you feel something, there is that 6th sense inside us.
Intuition.
That on a daily basis, it keeps poking you and reminding you that you are alive. We always know when something is not right. I want me to take seriously your mental health aspects. And one of the things that you can do is a daily self-check. It's important. It's important to, for any program to be successful, there should be monitoring and evaluation. And that is the same thing with yourself. There should be self-monitoring and evaluation. And sometimes one of the things that can help you is your social circles around you.
Right.
There are people that will poke you and tell you, hey, you're going overboard. You'll have that one friend that will do that. You need to have that 30 minutes that you sit down and every day you ask yourself, am I in the right place? Is this where I want to go? Is this how I see myself? So it's very important to do that self-assessment. Have time, quality time for yourself.
Right. So Mindful subscribers, I believe our challenge for today has been set by our guest, looking after yourself. One self-care challenge, which is doing a daily check-in with yourself. After you've put the phone down, after you have attended to everything else, you are the most important person, actually. If you are not fine, you cannot help others. My friend likes to say you cannot feed others from an empty cup.
Yes.
So you have to be a full vessel in order to pour into the lives of others. So ladies and gentlemen, we have had an amazing conversation. We have learned what mental health is. We have appreciated that it's nothing mystical. There's nothing mysterious about this thing. Having, taking care of your mental health, being conscious about your mental health is not the stuff of juju or witches or witchcraft. It's purely a function of knowledge. And I have also learned that I find people who take care of their mental health also demonstrate, or I am compelled to respect them more. I mean, I'm amazed when I ask someone to, can we do this? And they're like, no, I don't take short notice engagements. I'm sorry. Or I am doing this with my children. Or, can we do this differently? I think when people take steps to reassert themselves, to preserve themselves, I think it's very powerful. And self-care is not the same as selfishness, right? It's not the same as selfishness. We have also learned that there are benefits to looking after your mental health. We've also learned that mental health is a wide topic, and illness is just one aspect of it. There's creating awareness, there's promotion, and all of that. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, we have come to the end of the first part of this conversation. And join us again for part 2 of this conversation, where we delve into mental illness. What is it? What is it? What is it about? And how can you protect yourself or help people who are surviving different kinds of mental illness? I will see you again on the next episode of The Mindful Show. I have been your host, Helena Okiring, with Dr. Agatha.